Hi
Hi
guys,
Anand.
hi. So welcome to my startup Yatra's coffee break Saturday. I'm very happy to have you on board. So today, guys, we're with an exciting guest, uh, startup CEO and founder of ToSpace. So how is the day, Mr. Adnan?
So,
How was your day?
yeah, it's fine actually. Just had a coffee just before the meet,
Okay,
so it's
great.
a coffee Saturday break.
Okay, Adnan. Okay, let me like for the audience out there, just give me. I'll give you one line. Okay, so you are into satellites, right?
Yes, yes.
Aerospace, right? And a lot of times I have heard that there are a lot of many startups. And is my audio clear?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
clear.
So there are there are a lot of complicated startups, right? And space is when the moment you say space, people think it's very crazy hard. Like, how do you get into it, and why did you start your journey
Yeah.
into this?
So yes, can I start it from the begin?
Yeah,
Means like,
sure, man. It's your
yeah,
day.
yeah. So yeah, just the how we just started the startup is like there's a quite story, like a history, because it just originated in my dream of like an 18 years old young man. That is me. Like wanted to reach a space in most accessible way. So I was thinking like like what you said, like the people will thinking that space is too expensive and it's too complicated to understand.
Mm-hmm.
So even I thought that it is too complicated to understand. After knowing that, those what is the fundamental of space,
Mm-hmm.
then I get ideas from my mentors. Like few people's worked in ISROs and
Mm-hmm.
also in DRDOs. So after getting those mentorship from them, I was quietly understand that it is not too hard. Like we can understand, but it depends on the like interest in the way of promote or support that.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a friend over in my school, plus one, plus two, while I was studying. His name is Pradeeprajan. So we were actually two in a very same wavelength
Mm-hmm.
of creating such kind of a startup for aerospace and defense.
Mm-hmm.
So we just got committed with to research and development of pocket tube satellites, which we are developing now.
Mm-hmm.
So and also we want to promote education of space technology in India. Like just before a few months, ISRO is now starting a STEM program for ISRO.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, so for the students
Mm-hmm.
to promote space and to educate those peoples in space.
Mm-hmm.
Like there is lack of space knowledge in India, like
Mm-hmm.
to the students.
Mm-hmm.
So they wants to guide them in a very good way. So they just now had a released a paperwork, like they are supporting to educate STEM of space with
Mm-hmm.
NGOs and other educational institutions. So we had this idea before itself, like in 2019.
Okay.
So we had, yeah.
Now, before
So
we come to all those steps, right? Let's
yeah,
start with
yes,
let's go
yes,
by step by step. Okay.
yeah,
Tell us like the moment like everyone knows. I think everyone knows the word satellite. Right? It's
yes.
something the device is operates out the around the earth and probably sends some data receipts. But to your mind, what is that satellite you're building? What is the functionality and what is it does and how complex it is? Just
Yeah.
give a line.
Yes. So what the satellite we are building is like we call it as a pocket cube sat. Why we are calling it as a pocket cube? It just fits into your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of interesting thing that the satellite can fit into your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Just the size of the satellite is like 5 cross 5 cross 5 centimeter alone.
Mm-hmm.
So and its a weight is about 250 gram. You
Mm-hmm.
may all know that the satellites will weigh over tons,
Mm-hmm.
or else it will be of like 50 kg or 100 kg, but we are
Mm-hmm.
developing a satellite in just 250 grams.
Okay.
So that is the speciality of the satellite, and also it is like the primary research of our company too.
Mm-hmm.
So that is why we are making space affordable and accessible for everyone.
Okay. So what can that satellite do? So what is the capability of the
Yeah,
satellite?
yeah. So for the current mission, we are developing a satellite with an IoT technology, like Internet of Things. What we are want to do with the satellite is like we are want to connect globally without internet and rural places to connect over with our thought of LoRa technologies. So we are working in a LoRa platforms.
Mm-hmm.
We are establishing the networks with the LoRa WAN. Also working with Semtex modules.
Mm-hmm.
With the LoRa Semtex modules, we are connecting the people's rural areas to cities and overall.
Mm-hmm.
So why we are using LoRa is like secure dedicated IoT device, like not IoT device, let us secure platform which conveys the data from one area to another area. So our like the privacy is the first thing in the world. Like every people love privacy, so that is what why we are chosen LoRa and getting the platform into the small pocket tube.
Okay, so basically there are two types of satellites. One type of satellite is a satellite which should be only one looking at one portion of the Earth, right? And there'll be one more satellite which is. So what type of satellite is your satellite?
Yes. So it's like it's a SSO, sun synchronizing satellites. Like in that orbit, when we will put the satellite, like it's like 500 to 600 kilometers of altitude. I think our satellite is so small such that it can revolve the Earth like 6 or 7 times a day.
Oh.
It will travel in a very high speed, like it will travel per hour is like 17,000 kilometer per second, like per second. So it is the speed that it travels. That's why it covers 7 times a day the whole world.
And so what is the process of getting the satellite to space? Like how do
Yeah.
you?
So it just we are building in a very compact and easier manner. Like what are there are few major things in the satellite. Just an onboard computer and a sensor payload. What we are going to have this for the mission, and the communication board and the solar external parts. So it just comes in like a 5 centimeters cube, which has three different boards on onboard computer, as well as the sensor part for the payload purpose, and the communication purpose. For the communication purpose only, we are testing the LoRa for our current mission.
Okay.
So this
So
is the quite small thing of developing our satellites and also producing in this way.
so I understand the build, but like how do you take it? Like how do you bring the satellite to that particular?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, like we have educated over like 2 3 years of building satellites by great advisory panels of ISRO. So yeah, so what we understand is like it is not difficult to build a such thing, because we need to understand what is the parameter we are going to read. So in that way, we are developing these modules. The modules will consist of some processor or a controller. If it is wants to be controller or it will be a controller. If it is wants to be a processor, yeah, it will be a processor. With the onboard computer, we just connected with the communication and the sensor payload. So the sensor payload itself can like record and observe the readings of what we are want to exactly read. Like it's a small thing which school students develop in a Arduino kits.
Oh,
You,
oh.
you may know our
Yeah,
Arduinos
yeah, yeah.
programs. Yeah, with that easy technology, we are building this kind of satellites.
Oh, wow.
The same technology we are promoting on the satellites. That is why we are making them peoples to very understand in a very easier manner, and also for affordable manner.
And can you also talk about the material the satellite is built of? You said the satellite is going with the high speed, right? So what type of
Yes.
material is needed, and what is the temperature
Yeah,
might
yes,
be? Yeah.
yes, yeah. So before that, like I would want to like I want to know that like there is a few testers for the satellites. Before putting into orbit, there is few tests should be taken care of the satellite. Like what is the test is like first one is vibrational test. So what the vibration test itself will go for 2000 hertz, and the vacuum backward. What you said like what will be the temperature of the orbit, so the vacuum backward. So we will have the two testers for the kind of things for the satellites. We will up to 0 to 2000 hertz. We will vibrate the satellite. If there is any malfunction or the wires jumps out or the any components are disassembles, it will be rectified on the other after the test. Or a vacuum backward test, we will test it like 240 degrees Celsius. Because in the what which we are going to put in orbit is like a 450 to 550 sun synchronization. So in that orbit, it only requires of 250 Fahrenheit, 250 Fahrenheit. So with that vacuum backward test, we will test our satellite. Like we will have it as an oven. So with the oven, we will put it our satellite inside it, and we will bake it out like for the 250 degree of Fahrenheit. After that, we will while the degree of Fahrenheit is going on, we will also read the measurements. If there is any sensor problem or any communication breakage through that, we will understand what temperature in the particular time the sensor breakout. So we will have to analyze that what is the problem on the sensor. If it is the sensor is not qualified for that kind of temperature, we will rectify that one.
And what is the delay of the communication between the satellite and the ground station, like because it's very
Yeah.
far, right?
Yes. So already I thought I said that like it is an Arduino based
Yeah.
commands. Like you can if you are pinning a with some kind of sensor DHT11 or any ultraviolet sensor, so you have to send the like you have to program the data. So
Mm.
which time period you have to know for the delay of 1,000 for like 1 second or 2 second. So with that, like the same technology we are adapting on the satellites, we can have a fraction of second, we can have a new data like
Okay.
but we are having a data for the few minutes like because the data is like repeatedly will come the same one for the few seconds
Mm-hmm.
it takes a 5 seconds to change the data, so
Mm-hmm.
we have a delay of like 5 to 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm. And one more thing, observing, so your satellite doesn't condense any ignition or any type of the system, right? So when you launch
Yes.
it, so how do you align your satellite to in a particular order? Like the
Yes.
alignment matters or what?
Yeah. So the for the alignment itself, the launch company is taking care of that. So
Okay.
we are just want to be take the what orbit we are going to choose. So if we like our current mission is like settle with SpaceX. So
Mm-hmm.
we are the first one to launch a satellite with SpaceX in India.
Wow. Mm.
Like yeah. So the that kind of things it will be taken care of SpaceX. So
Okay.
they
So
will.
the moment you say SpaceX, like there's no doubt. Obviously, they're going to position it right. Could you say the process? How do you get into SpaceX, man? It's like very
Yeah,
interesting.
yes. So SpaceX is like a private company which is
Yeah.
also selling slots for the companies for the CubeSat like companies or any other kind of companies want to research in space. Like we just approached SpaceX not via direct to the SpaceX. We have a broker service like FOSA Systems. It is actually in Spain.
Mm-hmm.
So the companies like tie up with the SpaceX for
Mm-hmm.
now. Like we just want to we just said like we want to develop a satellite and put it to orbit, so we are looking for a launch. So at the time we thought of why we choose like SpaceX, because no one is done SpaceX flight missions in India. So if we have a SpaceX means it will have some height reach of quite reach, because why may know that like they are the first to relaunch the satellite rockets and bring them to Earth.
Mm.
So that is why it is quite interesting and went very boom. Even NASA get the order to the SpaceX. So that
Mm-hmm.
is why that is the prime motive. We are also selected SpaceX. So after that, our plan and approvals have to be sent to the FOSA system. They will directly conduct a test with the SpaceX.
Mm.
So that if the mission is looking very good, it is not harmful for any kind of things, you will be selected for the launch. So you have to pay for the slot. You will be
Mm.
selected to launch
I
the
think
satellite.
all these things looks very expensive. Like, do you have any support from the government or like? So how do you do
Not
this?
yet we got the government support, but before we had some projects in experimental for NASA selections. So with that we had around 4 to 5 lakhs we got from government of Tamil Nadu
Mm-hmm.
for our research papers and other kind of things.
Wow. So how much is the slot? So what is the cost, if you don't mind?
Yeah, but we can't see that in the like it will just an affordable
Approx.
manner.
Yeah.
Like
So you can say an approximate thing, right?
yeah, it will approximately like 15 to 20 lakhs.
Wow. Mm.
Yeah.
And
So in a
how
15
much?
to
What's the
20 lakhs,
cost
you
of making
can
a satellite then?
yeah. So for the Spain company, FOSA itself also making the satellites for 1 crore of rupees,
Mm-hmm.
but we are making the same kind of satellites just for like 20 to 30 lakhs.
Oh, that's definitely an very affordable,
Yes.
satellite. And how much? What's the man like? How much man hours have you spent in making this? How much time do you require in building one satellite
To build the satellite or to research on the
to build the
development.
whole thing? So let's say I'm going to
Yeah,
start a
to
startup.
build the whole thing, we just take only 1 month. One
Oh,
month to yeah,
that's great. So
even 3 weeks we can finish it.
it's very fascinating. It's like moment
It's
like
great.
I'm very happy to know. And before you come, like, how do you see Elon Musk? Because I think Elon Musk also has the same dream as you. Like,
Yeah, he's our very most inspirational for me. Like being a man with great visions in space and other electric industries.
mm-hmm,
So I was a great fanboy of him.
mm-hmm,
After the Abdul Kalam, I was a very great fan for him. So
mm-hmm.
like yes, the biggest aim is to like how to shake my hands with the Ellen.
I think that's definitely a dream for many of us. and
Yes.
and I can also see that in your past career you also worked with something with no, Abdul Kalam Innovation, something like that. So could you also
Yeah.
tell me,
Yes.
explain us about that?
Yeah, that is not we have worked with Abdul Kalam, but we
I
are
know.
working with Abdul Kalam's colleague.
Yeah.
So we have an advisory panel of Mr. Dr. Sorry, Professor Ilangovan Rajagopalan.
Mm-hmm.
He has been worked with 15 years with Abdul Kalam. Now
Mm-hmm.
he is mentoring us on the rocketry systems. We do actually research in rocketry too.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in future we will update ourselves by like launching our own sounding rockets.
Mm-hmm.
So the mission is like we are prototyping it. The research and the development is going on. So like the ultimate vision is to launch satellite with via our satellite via our rockets.
Mm-hmm.
So we have mentorship with ex ISRO. He's also an ex ISRO, former ISRO scientist. Now he's working as a professor for some universities.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that is the part we had worked with Abdul Kalam's colleague. Not yet, but I had a very bad experience of like without seeing him.
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah, I was like while I was having some news for my experiments and thoughts, I want to share with Abdul Kalam sir. But at the same time, he just passed away. So my ears like my eyes went tears like without seeing this man alive, I just passed my careers.
I think that if Abdul Kalam was today, he'll be definitely proud of your works,
Yes.
and it's very happy to see, very fascinating to see from like such a young startup, and you're reaching with SpaceX. It's very fascinating. And now moving around, that you have also mentioned that you're providing satellite services, right? So if a startup, if I can approach you and I can say you to build a
Yeah, yeah,
satellite, right?
definitely.
So what is
Yeah,
an
definitely.
application? Let's say I'm a company. So where are the applications that you can get? So what is the best use that I can get out of a
Yeah.
satellite?
So if you are having an electronic component which is to be tested in space, so
Mm-hmm.
but you have to be not to be put in a much more money of like 1 crore, 2 crore satellites.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to test the electronic component or if you want to record some readings, the accurate readings of some things that is confidential
Mm-hmm.
or maybe subject to the matter what you want. So we can test it at like with a very few low cost. So
Mm-hmm.
if we are in a goal of like launching a satellites per like 6 or 7 months once.
Mm-hmm.
Like we will launch simultaneously the satellites. After the first launch, we will start to simultaneous launches. So if you have an application like of doing a research on multispectral, so or kind of any other things like want to have a observation satellite or want to have the particular reading of the ultraviolet radiation or a cosmic radiation, we can help it out. Like we can easily make it as a simple board as a sensor payload for it. We can enable into our satellites. We will launch that. Or else you can own satellite for your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the time period of the satellite will be like 6 or 7 years. We estimated for now. So after the launch, only we can see the whole like proportions or the exact time period of the
And
workings.
what is the power source? Is it like solar, or is it like do you have any
Yeah,
battery?
yeah, we do have batteries. It's like companies of Sony. It's
Mm-hmm.
just a small battery, like with a voltage of 5 volt.
Mm-hmm.
It is itself enough for the payload to.
And you should also make sure it's very very effective. It should not waste any power, right?
Yes, yes, literally, it's very effective. That's why we are using Trisol X solar cells.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's also been a very good in use in the space industry for currently now. So we are using that kind of solar cells for that. It will regenerate 1 second the battery. If the battery itself dies, we can regenerate the energy and send it to the battery, and then the battery will give the energy to the power box.
Mm-hmm. And right now, do we have any orbit selection? Because I have heard like there are a lot of debris out there. So do you need to select what path is there, or do you have to get any license? Is there any such
Yes,
thing?
yes, yes. Definitely, we have to have apply license from the ITU, International Telecommunication Union. So
Mm-hmm.
before that, we have to submit a forms, like two forms that we have to submit to the our Department of Telecommunication in Delhi.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Mr. Um, Ministry of like L. Murugan, who
Mm-hmm.
is taking care of the Department of Telecommunication. So
Mm-hmm.
we have to submit two papers like regarding like what is the satellite and what is the use of the satellite. So
Mm-hmm.
if it is like a private company, there will be a lot of procedures to go on. If it is for an educational purpose, it is a very quite less procedures to go on.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're launching a satellite with a private company in a educational purposes, like easier manner to get a license from the ITU, they will
Mm-hmm.
allot a frequency for you to communicate with your satellites.
Mm-hmm. So that means you're saying that no companies can launch a very hidden satellite, like for bad use.
Yes, literally. So if there is any, even if the government have supported for them,
Mm-hmm.
like yes, if the government is supported to do that means it will be possible. But I think that is not possible. That government won't support any kind of spy satellites or any other satellites without having a good paperwork
Mm-hmm.
behind that satellites.
I can from your talk I can definitely understand there's a lot of paperwork, a lot of procedures, and I think this is where your mentors are very helping you out in the
Yes,
process, right?
literally.
And I think so if anyone from us like they reach you, will you help them in setting a pathway on building this, or they can obviously work with you, right, in building a satellite? Will you be kind
Yes,
enough
yes.
to it? Yeah. And so satellite is one thing. So what else? What is your next expansion? Like, do you want to keep building satellites, or do you have any ideas like going further something with space?
Yeah, like yes, we do have some more platforms. We just incubated like a few months before. Like what is the platforms is like we are working in drones.
Hmm.
So the drones is like now the Pradhan Mantri Modi ji has announced the Kisan drone programs
Hmm.
to empower the agricultural platforms. So we want to provide farmers with the ability to respond any situation and make them well informed decisions by our
Hmm.
drones.
Hmm.
So we developing agri drones on the basis of LoRa technologies.
Hmm.
We are communicating with the LoRa's, not an like already marketed communication device. We are making our own devices for our drones.
Hmm.
Also, we are working in some kind of interesting thing, which is like if you want to be reach space means you can't reach space without being an astronaut. So
Hmm.
we are reaching space, like not the space, the like near space, with our desired to through the Earth's stratosphere to fulfill our aim to bringing the experience of space travel in our astropod. Astropod is like a pod which consists of peoples, like few people, like 8 or 10 peoples, to taking them to the 1 lakh feet of height, and like it's like 30 kilometers above the sea level.
Hmm.
It will have a very beautiful Earth's curvature view. So with
Hmm.
that kind of views, we can use it as like it's in a space tour. You not be an astronaut for that kind of things.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
And I'm very, signing me up. I'll be one of your first buyers in buying that ticket. And I
Yes.
think you will give some discount to people who's attending here,
Yeah,
right?
sure. Yeah. For the like we are planning by now itself. By like in the end of the year, we are trying to get a seed round of like 3 to 4 million USD.
Wow, great.
From,
Hmm.
yeah. So we are pushing into that. Like we are starting to pitch some investors. We are in the right track by now, supporting from various kinds of institutions and other people
Hmm.
supports. So maybe the year before that October we will have a pre-seed round
Hmm.
of getting some funds from the investor sides.
And
So we will, yeah.
so I'll just get a small idea. I have, as I said, there are a lot of startups saying that they don't have a lot of tech people, like smart people. Like when it comes to space, you need the best, right? So are you getting these
Yes.
people, or are you training them, or like how is it working?
Yes, literally, we want to train and also get. So the main motive of this company is like not this is not a job for a degree holders. We
Hmm.
just want skilled peoples
Hmm.
or want to like
Who's
idea to
passionate?
trained skill from
Hmm.
here from our
Hmm.
place. So
Hmm.
if you have interest to train, if you have interest to get knowledge of the space, we are
Hmm.
welcome you. So if you have a skill, we are welcome you. Not by the degree, we are not accepting that. Like
Hmm.
this is maybe the first, like as Alan also said, if you don't have a degree, that Tesla doesn't work,
Hmm.
stop working for that.
Hmm.
So in the same way, we are also working like that. The degree is not important; just the skills were important. If you have interest to develop the skill, we are also open for that.
Hmm. And how do you see the competition out there? Do you feel that yeah?
Yes, literally, we do have lot of competition, like which we have started in the time is like everyone started the space own startup companies. I think in India, like over like 15 plus companies were started. So few companies are only notable, like Skyroot and Agnicool. and through space. These Skyroot and Agnicool was rocket companies, launching companies, and Agnicool was Dhruva Space was an satellite company as like us. So we are also be in the notable one of the notable company in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a lot of potential over all the companies competition. So we are also trying our best to achieve the top most five in the getting a row.
My best wishes for you. And
Yeah.
now coming to now we have launched a satellite. What is this? Do you have any security? Can that be hacked or like what is there any protection protocol?
Yeah, yes, like we are testing the communications right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we just had a vision pre-testing our satellite
Mm-hmm.
subsystems for the communication methods
Mm-hmm.
that you are saying, like we can hack any kind of things. That so that is why going to be tested in Italy by next month, July.
Mm-hmm.
Mid We are launching with a helium balloon to test our subsystems communication, so without interruption, and we are also trying to make that more completable with some futures of hacking technology with our payloads.
Mm-hmm.
If it is like disturbed means we will return work on it, but I think that is not will be disturbed. But I can't assure that like what protocol we are using for now.
Mm-hmm. So the moment you say a lot of things, you were mentioning a lot of foreign countries, right? So
Yes.
do we don't have such facilities in India? Like ISRO not equipped or what is the problem?
Yes, that is not a problem. Like India, we have all permissions. Like why we are launching in Italy is like we have been collaborated for the satellite mission.
Mm-hmm.
So then the name is called Delta Space Leonis. There's a company in there's a startup in Italy. So
Mm-hmm.
they are very well good friend for us.
Mm-hmm.
They just want to test it like why we can't test our satellite subsystems over here. Like so they were interested. Okay, then we said like, yes, we can do that. Also, we are having our Pradhan Mantri Modi ji's photograph on our satellite as embodied
Wow.
in a lines. So that will be a honor. Like we are launching from an international companies with in a very our international borders.
Mm-hmm.
So it will be most proudy moment for us and our India too. It will reach like 1.38 billions of India's population.
Wow, wow, that's great. It's like I'm just fascinated why I'm not seeing these things popping up the news, right? It's very I'm very glad that we are having this meeting today, and it's very wonderful,
Yeah,
actually.
thank you.
So so let's say that I understand the whole story. Like it looks very easy for now, like moment you say. But as you when you have this dream, like you had the dream, what was the step? Like how did you find your mentor? Like what was the step, and how difficult was it?
Yes. So while we starting our startup, the COVID came. So
Mm-hmm.
that is the time of COVID. So we had there are sort of ups and downs. We can't say like COVID downed us. Like we can't say COVID helped us.
Mm-hmm.
It's like both have done for us COVID. So I had a very like while I started the company, I was studying pursuing my physics final year, physics second year in my college.
Mm-hmm.
So still I'm studying. Like I'm going to complete my final years by
Mm-hmm.
now.
Mm-hmm.
By this month, I'm just completing my final
Wow.
year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just 20 years old. Uh,
Oh, wow. And
yeah,
I think you can actually say yourself a scientist, right? Like moment you're working with.
yeah. Like I want to be an entrepreneur like
Uh,
Elon Musk.
and then how did you how like did your parents support you or like did how was
Yes,
that?
I was I have just a single parent. Like my I do have my mom.
Mm-hmm.
She was like very supportive for me.
Mm-hmm.
So taking care of mine. Like I was like doing late night works.
Mm-hmm.
So while having a discussion, there will be discussion gone through like 3 or 4 o'clock up to 4
Mm-hmm.
a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So there will be a lot of times to taken I don't even sleep for a few days,
Mm-hmm.
like fully focusing on the works. I have
Mm-hmm.
some deadlines to be done before the date.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of things. My mom will definitely supported me. Just gave me strength. Yeah, she was the power for me.
Mm-hmm.
Boosted me in every situation when we are down.
Mm-hmm.
Even one of the director is my mom for this company.
Oh, great. And
So
definitely I can see that no every passionate entrepreneur, no sleepless nights. We can directly say it's
yes,
and obviously for your college you must be the most no honorable student, right? In your college.
maybe I think maybe that.
Yeah, how do you like? Did you know did you even think that you'll reach this height? uh,
uh,
because moment when someone says, right, I'm going to send in rocket or satellite, they think like stop joking,
yeah,
right? They'll say
yes,
that's a common example, right? Are we
yes,
going to send in space some space rocket? That's how they're given in Tamil, right? So
yeah,
so how did people make fun of you, like did
yes.
you even think about reaching this height?
Yeah, the circum is really very funny for me. Like in my college, is literally it's a basic science like physics and chemistry. These kind of subjects only they have.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's only an arts and science department, not as like, engineering degrees.
Mm-hmm.
So when I said that, my friends will see us like, who is this guy?
Mm-hmm.
What is he telling? Like, he's really mad at something. Like these kind of things were aroused, and even teachers said like, you can't make that ma. Like you have to focus on your studies only now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in future, if you have some knowledge of doing that, you can do that. Like before, like after saying this, I just achieved the research in NASA. Got selected, and the Tamil Nadu government offered me like 5 lakhs of grant. This teacher stunned, like okay, now he's
Like
okay.
they'll be like, now people are going to say opposite comments, right? I think they will
Yes,
say you're the star
yes,
and
yes.
yeah.
They just congratulated me. That said, like one day I know that you one day will make us proud, and they just even just converted into another type.
Mhm.
Suddenly they were converted. Even my friends congratulated me on the achieving. Yeah, but even now they are looking at me as a mad creep man.
Mhm. Okay, now talking about the affordability, right? So how are you actually making this such affordable satellite? Like, other satellite companies they don't know your secret? There's any secret ingredient or like
No, like
mm,
we want like there is no secret ingredients or like that kind of things. We want to make peoples to understand our satellite concepts.
mm,
So that is why we are working in a very similar and simpler way. So
mm,
there is more complicated ways, but people are working in that complicated ways. But we want to get similar because simple and like want to promote that in a very simple way.
mm,
So that is why we are creating satellites as much as simple and as much as cheap.
mm,
So like we want to educate the peoples like students for the future generations. So
mm,
as I previously said, India has a very low education on the space technology. We want to promote that education system for the students of future generations.
mm,
So that is why we are creating that kind of simple satellites concepts to understand the students.
mm.
So we are also developing a kit of a satellite, like the exact satellite kit
Oh.
we are developing. So just giving to the students within a
Mm.
very low cost of manners. Like I think our first kit rate itself comes in a 10K.
Oh.
So it is a 10K
Definitely.
kit. You can know about the fundamentals of satellites, and we are launching it for free, like in a helium balloon. So
Oh,
if you are
great.
purchasing our satellite, means you can have this like 15-day sessions
Mm.
to with the videos and certification programs from
Mm.
SMEs of like ex-ISRO, former ISRO, or the current ISRO scientists,
Mm.
or also a few other companies from the foreigners. We are making them to understand the fundamentals of the satellites, and they are launching their satellites via our helium balloon platforms and getting the readings of the real stratospheres.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now coming back to your team, how big is your team right now, and what are the role people are doing? And you can also name a few if you want, like in
Yeah,
detail.
yeah. So we do have like 12 members by now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the company is like incorporated like last year October only. So it is like 9 months from October till now.
Mm-hmm.
First, previously we started, we just had very few like me and my friend Pradeeprajan and another one guy. So
Mm-hmm.
Arvind, who's my schoolmate in 10th. So
Mm-hmm.
he's supporting on me for the designings or any kind of that kind of stuffs. We only three were standalone.
Mm-hmm.
After that, we are like promoting us and LinkedIn's and other social medias. After that, we collaborated with a partner like our co-founder in Singapore, or one of our co-founders in Singapore now. He's
Mm-hmm.
an Indian resident. Also he's work doing in Singapore now. He's all been, I think he's 23 years in Singapore by now,
Mm-hmm.
completing 23 years, 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
So he had believed on us, and then had some funds from him, and also we also put some funds from our side. Like we are actually bootstrapped by now.
Mm-hmm.
After that, we are knowing about our strength. We want to know that like we have selected the interested peoples on with the same wavelength of us to work with us. Like
Mm-hmm.
the peoples are literally worked without any. wages. Like that is
Oh,
the main thing.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
So while a startup is doing, there will be not a wages. Only the profit is sharing for them.
Yeah, correct.
So
So I
that is
think by selecting that, you have these passionate startups, right? People who want
yes.
to reach. So,
So yeah.
so what is your tech stack like? All of them are techies, or like do you
No, no,
have?
no. We do have some editing support
Mm.
team. One person is working on editing.
Hmm.
Another two person is working in marketing and like content creations.
Oh, great.
So
So you
LinkedIn
have
post
an
content
complete
creations
team.
over by him.
So I think so that we have the time. So I think we have this Q&A session. So from any audience, if you have any questions, please feel to put in the chat, or you can also unmute yourself and you can speak. We have the guests ready to answer your questions. You're ready, right? I hope you're ready, right? Like I didn't tire you with a lot of banking questions.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's wait for, let's see if audience put anything. But meanwhile, I will just oh, put you put you through some questions that I have. Okay, so
Okay, sure.
so now coming to the education, you said you're going to this education, right? So this is purely because you felt that the space, like you had a difficult time like learning, right? So that is
Yes.
the reason that you have started, right?
Yeah,
But
that is the pure reason.
but both these things are like completely separate. Like you have to put so much energy into it, right? So are you going to completely shift into this education based, or are you going to parallelly
No,
go here?
no, like our main primary research is on satellites, the
Mm-hmm.
pocket tube satellites, and
Mm-hmm.
other future further things.
Mm-hmm.
So the education system is like will stand alone with some other team. So we will have as a subdomain. We will allot few teams for that. We the team only work. Just we want will be mentor the team.
Mm-hmm.
Like even some companies have that kind of subdomains over them.
Mm-hmm.
Even like Zoho Corporation also developing students for their like training on some kind of educational systems. They are accepting trainees after completing plus 12th. So that kind of things will be taken care by that kind of platforms. So we will have as in a separate platform for the tech supports. So the separate team will work for that kind of things.
So looks like
We
that you're planned out, right? You put the
yes.
entire structure on place,
Yeah.
right? Second, you're also making drones, right? As you said, you're also making drone, and you again want to
Yes.
help farmer. Again, I can understand that you're very, patriotism person, like supporting India, and you have that in mind, right?
Yeah.
So these drones again. So you started drone because you understood like how it works, and that's how it helps you, right? So how can you just talk about the drone more? Like how is this? Like what is a drone product? Because I go to see that in your website, and
Yeah.
is it going to come? When is it going to launch?
Yes. So we are just now in the R&D sessions. Like previously said, we are working in a separate communications for the drones.
Mm-hmm.
Not we are going to use any market modules. We have
Mm-hmm.
a going to have a separate pattern for our module.
Mm-hmm.
Because why it is because like we will have a separate ground station for the drones. Like, the drones even act as autonomous.
Mm-hmm.
So if the farmers gets the drone, we will have as and also an antenna for the drones.
Mm-hmm.
We will place it over the area which we considered would be there. The drones itself take some with an AI powered. The drone will have the timing zone when to be pick up, when to be spray the area, what area should covers,
Mm-hmm.
and also it return back to the same area while in the charging port, while have a charging port
Mm-hmm.
for that. So that is why we are working in a communication purpose
Mm-hmm.
to does not affect any other trans receivers modules or any other attacks should not be taken care by the drone. So that is we are actually in the research now by now. Maybe I think after having some much of mentors advice and R&D sessions, well after gone, we will soon bring it to the market.
Okay. So we have a question here. So where did you find your mentors, and how did you contact them? Did you
Yeah.
did you cold calling
So
or something like, yeah?
So for now, it is like LinkedIn made easier way to find mentors
Mm-hmm.
because there are many peoples which are like great personalities who very easily can connected with anybody. So
Mm-hmm.
even I have connected with some kind of higher priority persons in Russia, like Exospace is a company. I have connected with the CEO.
Mm-hmm.
Like in that manner, every people can easily connected with this. Or
Mm-hmm.
else, if we have any college, universities, look for IIT peoples who work there, or any kind of resource persons are there. Like if they there is an IIT people means they definitely have a contact of a great person in the science and technology department.
Mm-hmm.
So we can like approach them like I have a idea of proposal like this.
Mm-hmm.
What mentor do I exactly have to approach, sir? Like in that way, if you approach it means like it is easier way to have some qualified mentors. You have to pick some qualified mentors for you.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I think now itself it's LinkedIn is a good platform to
Mm-hmm.
have find mentors like us.
Okay, so I hope that answers your question. So now moving to the next question. So we have satellites. Like, speaking in Elon Musk terms, right? You want to reach space. Do you have any idea in creating a rocket? Like space is it going to be obviously it's going out of your budget because, but if you think like that, even satellite was not possible, but now you made it possible. Like, and you said that you're going to making a trip with the that 30 feet, 30 kilometers.
Yeah,
Since
astropod.
so I think that why that funding you're building your plans to build a rocket or like.
No, 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 no. We have planned a separate fundings for every kind of platforms.
Mm-hmm.
While we pitching to an right VC, they will actually want to know full. We have to be fully transparency
Mm-hmm.
for what purpose we are going to use that.
Mm-hmm.
So for the rocket alone, we will stand up with a few like proposals.
Mm-hmm.
Even now in USA, there is a spin launch. I think there's a company called Spin Launch. They are like spinning in a very great velocity and launching the satellite, launching the rocket
Yeah,
directly with the pull
correct.
of the
Yeah,
spin.
yeah.
Yeah.
Centrifugal
So
force. Yeah.
yeah, like in that type of technology we are working in, but we can't tell
No, no,
that.
please. I know. I get it because
Yeah.
it's
So
very.
we, like
Mm, I think out there, I think people out there can. Okay, I'm sorry to say, but I think uh, you might get a lot of competitors, but in end of the day, I think India is going to grow from your session that we
yeah,
had.
definitely,
Uh,
definitely will make India grow very good in a very good manner and want to develop as a developed country
And
by
my kind advice is out there: if you
develop.
want to start, please do collaborate with this. You know, he's the one who shared this, so I think he's a very
Yeah,
humble
definitely.
person, and he's going to help you out
Yeah, sure.
in this process. So now coming to this, well, I personally haven't right pitched to a VC. Right, you're there. So obviously for you, it's my first thing. So how was the interaction and like what did you learn? It's like it's just purely for the audience.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
so what are the things you have to be prepared?
yeah. So yeah, just a second. Let me take my diary. I just noted down the
Yeah, please.
what he actually said. So for the first you having an idea to pitch a mentor means like which a pitch a VC or any kind of investor means you have to proper deck which consists of problem statement,
Mm-hmm.
solution statement, value proposition. What is the product that you have value in the market, and the market size, competition slide. So what competitors do you have in India? What competitors do you have in the worldwide? So the revenue model, which comes like in a BMC report, business model canvas, and the go-to market. So which with whom we are going to market, like it is a B2B or we are like collaborated with space industries. If it is in a like company of educational platform like Byju's, they would be collaborated with universities like in high profile IIT, NITs.
Mm-hmm.
So that is will be the go to market slide. So and your super team, the super team itself want to say that how potential it is you're good at those things, and the current traction of the company. So what is the current traction of the company, where that started, so where it is now. So even in a very short time period, what the companies did after the milestones have to be decided in a very good manner. Like you have not to be put so much of milestone that I completed my first test mission, we completed that time, that kind of things. Won't the investor won't accept that kind of things. You have to be like signed a company with MOU as a company with another company. So we have had a great initiative on signing a big project.
Mm-hmm.
We had revenued over this kind of thing. Started the project, started ended the project. The revenue of this. So
Mm-hmm.
in that milestone event, you have to
Any big
say this.
achievements you have to say.
Yes, yes,
Great.
yes. Achievements.
Mm-hmm.
So after finally the final projection of your company,
Mm-hmm.
so last you have to in the main slide of investment ask and the fund usage. So you have to ask what the total investment for the current platform you are going to pitch that to the right VC, and also the fund usage. So the fund how to be used, like for the operation managements, how the fund going to be used, how much percentage it going to be used for research and development, how much percentage is going to be used, and for the other purposes, how much percentage is going to be used. You have to be like very transparency on that
The
pitch,
financials, the
that
financials.
side. Yeah. So finally, the exit strategy, like what is the ROI in which time period you are going to give.
Oh,
That
great.
will be the perfect pitch deck to pitch to a right VCs.
Okay. And out there, people out there, if you think this is difficult, my startup Yatra is actually making pitch decks. Like we are
Okay.
specialized in making pitch decks, so that you guys don't need to like figure it out. So going to the second part. Second important question will be, right, how much share you have to give. That is a very complicated area. So like please, no, there's no need to share your answer. But what are the criteria that you use? Did you like what are the constraints that you've taken to find out that particular number?
Yes. So for till now, we are having an idea of like sharing of 5 percentage for 1 million USD funds, because there is another startup which is an example of us, like we had a mentored by them also. They had a NRI investor from US. So he had like it's an idea from them, we just took it. He just bought a 5% share for 1 million USD. So that may be the our concepts of idea. But if the values of the companies I means, we have to be less the
Got it. Got it.
yeah.
So just look for some references or some companies so to
Yes.
get a baseline
Yes.
idea. Now the third part, right? Answering some questions. Obviously, investors they would ask. So it'll be great if you can share some tough questions which is put into your like, or can give us some light on questions that have been asked in your case. Do you have any
Uh,
idea on that?
I thought of will make a question of about what is the confidential part of the satellites.
Hmm.
Reason, research paper on what thesis what you have done, the last mission of like for what government had granted you. So that kind of things I thought of you were asking for me, like, but the questions were not.
Okay, we have one more questions coming by.
Okay.
So, what are the risks associated with private satellite control? So,
Yes, we do have some softwares for that, because there is much more possible of collision in the satellites industry. So once the collision is occur means it's totally lost. You can't even return back any kind of steps from the space. It just when it comes to the earth, it just burns out into ashes. So and also it will may definitely damage another opponent's satellites.
yeah,
It
yeah.
will also consider. Yeah, it will
Is there
also
any
like.
penalty for that? Is there any
Yes,
penalty?
yes, definitely.
Oh,
There is a like
oh,
penalty for the company for breaking their intellectual property, or like for collision, like that kind
yeah,
of
understood.
things.
Yeah.
So they will have evidence of like it's a problem from us or the problem with them. So they will start for the investigation. So the investigation finds that we had some problems in our satellite that made a collision. Means the company will kindly will pay a bigger penalty of the satellite into cross three of their value.
Okay. I think those things can happen because that's why you're going for a lot of protocols,
Yeah.
right? So
Right.
these
So there we
protections.
have some softwares for that. I can't share you the softwares by now.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
But there is some open source softwares you can even check with the Googles. With the software, we will really plan where will our satellite will revolve. So what frequency we will test it out with the softwares. So after that, we will launch into the orbit. Even SpaceX itself takes care of that.
Great.
You
So,
need to be know
so
area.
when SpaceX rocket is going to launch, I think lot of people like you who have put a lot of satellite, they'll be dreaming for the launch, right? So,
Yes.
like because I think if something happens, I think hope nothing happens, but it is a hard work like a lot of people's hard work effort, which is there in that one big satellite, right? And it's very hard to see that something. Hope all is going well, and so you are building one satellite right now. So what is the next after let's say that we are going to have the same coffee day break Saturday. I hope you again come back to us. Like where you will be? Where you? What is your stance after 5 years?
Yes. So after this mission, we are planning for a constellation of satellites.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that will be a massive update from us.
Mm.
I thought I just break down it now by now.
Actually, like the more we speak, you're telling me new things, man. It's like yeah, we got so much plans. Like, are you're the only one to put these plans, or do you have your
No,
like?
no, no, no. We had a very great team with us. That the 12 members of mine is like literally it's like the same wavelength of us. That's why we are together.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so by the constellation of satellites, we will be tie up with many industries in IoT platforms and transportation, blockchain,
Mm-hmm.
and other few industries like securities, agriculture. We will be signing with many industries for the constellation of satellites. So that is will be an ultimate plan for us to send satellites to the space with the constellation multispectral imagings. That will be a multispectral imaging too.
It's like I think then actually the satellite business looks very promising, right? I think
Yeah,
from
yes, literally.
it's like a gold mine which is coming by, right? I think.
Yeah, even now you can even a agricultural platform itself requires a satellite.
Mm-hmm.
So that is why we are coming into cheaper products.
And second, now let's say that if you launch one satellite, I think that one satellite actually can be that application can be used for several companies and you can charge them, right? If I'm right.
Yes, yes, definitely it will helpful some companies in a for even a one satellite is will be enough for one IoT company
Mm-hmm.
that will be transferring the data over and over and again with connected with their industries. They are sending their data in a very privacy and secure manner. It will be
Okay.
mostly helpful.
And we have one more question which is coming by. I think just taking the essence. Is there so since you're building an affordable satellite, right? Does it have any problems in going through any of the tests or any complications? Do you have any such?
Maybe we didn't still yet gone for any testers by now. We just had a vibrational test.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the vibrational test came well good.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the vacuum breakout test will disturb us.
Mm-hmm. Then obviously you're going to see some alternative, right? So it's not.
Yes, yes, we have to alternate the material or what is the exact part it is just is damaged or we have to
I
analyze the
think I see
whole satellite.
for every startup there's always a challenge, right? I
Yes,
think
literally.
obviously it'll be like you'll find a way to go out.
Yeah.
I know that you'll definitely from your entrepreneurship. I think you're not a never giving person, right? You would obviously push this forward. So I think that answers your question. And if you guys have any other questions, please forward. I think this is a very lucky opportunity because it's very hard to find an satellite-based startup, and especially launching with SpaceX right now. So guys, please do when you have the time, please do ask the question to the chief guest. So second, okay, fine. Now uh, we have all these things. Now let's say that you didn't start the startup. What will you be doing? So what was your job, or what is that? What might have you be done?
Uh, so first of all, I don't have any idea to work for someone.
So
So
your destiny was the startup. Like,
yes,
it was like
yes,
written like no.
yes, it is written in my heads. Yeah. So I don't know why I was like not working for someone's ideas. That
Mm,
is literally disturbing my mind every day.
mhm,
While even I thought like even I didn't started the startup means what will be the job after my college days.
mm,
So even my every friends will take caring of their future by having a good job in governments or having a companies like ITs and
mhm,
other those things. But like I don't have a very good opinion on working on others' ideas. I want
mhm,
to work with my idea. If you have a great idea, you
mhm.
can just invest in yourself. That will be literally worth in one day.
I definitely think right now you have like I think you're settled for life. I think like even I think by now you should be getting so many exciting job offers from other space. Did you get any
Not
such things?
I'm not sure. Like had some offers from startups.
Hmm.
Don't want to
Obviously,
make
right?
the
Yeah.
name. Yeah, even a company in Chennai has asked me as a intern for like about like 1.5 years before while I started my startup
Mm-hmm.
for a very good package as an intern. For an intern itself, the package is too high. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was thought, why they giving such kind of package for intern? So
Mm-hmm.
I was like no, no, ma'am, I don't have that idea. So like no, Adnan, you don't have to be said like that. You just going to work as intern. After that internship covers, we will take our to the exact desk where you're going to be permanently fit into that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was literally no idea, ma'am. No, ma'am. Sorry for that. I was no having any idea to work with
Mm-hmm.
any other companies. I have a dream of starting my own startup. Definitely one day I will start my own startup and collaborate with your company too.
Mhm. Okay, now I think the time is going to end. So one final question: like, let's say SpaceX wants to buy your company. Like, will you be happy to give your company or like?
No, 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 no.
Okay, it's really fantastic.
Nothing
Yeah,
can buy on my company.
I think this is the true entrepreneur, right? So obviously
Yes.
you're very, though you like SpaceX. I think so. Definitely, I can believe that next like 30, 40 years you're going to be the same person. And obviously, you don't. I hope you don't forget my startup yatra, right?
Yeah,
And
sure.
and okay, I
Yes,
think the
we'll
time is going to,
collaborate with each others. Yeah.
end. But since I know you're going to be very successful, so let me again re-invite you for the next after 5 years. Okay, can
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
I'm saying right now. So give me a promise that you're going to come again to my
Yes,
startup
I do
address.
promise you that I will be a first interviewer for the session, which the ToSpace had a very great achievement after the
And
great
again,
achievement.
so my startup yatra is a non-profit community. So we're very happy to help you out with the education. If you want to reach out to a lot of people with that satellite education, right? So we're very happy because we also do want to educate people. Like we understand that in India, like people are not understanding. They think they only want to see SmartX and SpaceX, and they simply clap hands. But ultimately, like imagine that. So obviously, let me not don't think me wrong. Obviously, you may not be the brightest person, right? Obviously, you have IIT. A lot of people are there,
Yeah, literally, literally.
and if you like, it's like then if you can do it, obviously, like entire India, like everyone, each and everyone has the skill to do it. And obviously I think by this, then we can obviously reach an unicorn level, or like India is going to be next gen for satellites and etc. Because right now if we speak, moment we say space, US is the only thing. Yes, no, SpaceX, NASA, that's it. So
Yes.
very fascinating to see from India, that too, like in a very young age. Like I was like, when I saw the company, I just thought this founder is going to be like 40 plus, 30 plus. That was my idea. Like the moment I saw you, like, oh my god, like definitely he's my guest, and that's how I picked you. And it's very kind of you to come here and have a oral chat with me. And even in fact, you have spoken a lot of open secrets. And anyway, it's going to be helpful for our people, India. And please do collaborate with this person if you're using his knowledge. Okay, ultimately, I think as Indians, we all should grow together and and take
Yeah.
take over this space.
We mutually benefit on each other's
Because I
basis.
think I think the more startups come by, there'll be like some space politics, right? If let's say US
Yes.
completely takes out, then obviously we won't be able to do it. So the sooner we occupy that space, it is better that we have. So I highly encourage you guys to collaborate or seek hands with him. I think you're definitely reachable, right? So you can also put your contact if you want.
Yeah, 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 definitely.
And I'm also we are also my startup is also happy to help you out in any way in promoting something like that. And also remember, you have promised us to be a guest for after 5 years.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Avid, for inviting me to this
Yeah, yeah,
session.
definitely.
Yeah.
I
So
think
I was
I
only
think we are
worried
the
to
one
like
who gained a lot of content
coffee
from you.
first.
Okay, guys. Anyway, thanks for having you. And I think it's 6, and we are ending. I think we had a great Saturday. Okay, have a nice weekend. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah,
Let me put my
yeah, yeah.
contact.
Please put
Yeah,
your. That's very important. Yeah.
this is my contact number.
Mm-hmm.
Um, even I can share my LinkedIn profile to
Mm-hmm.
just a second.
And also, guys, like my startup Yatra will also help you out in building your pitch decks and any other startup hurdles that you have. So also you can reach in us through that as well. Should I help you and share? Should I share it on your behalf
Yeah,
or?
yeah, yeah. Did you have that means you can share it.
Oh, okay, man. I'll just share it. I think I have it. Okay. I have shared in the group, so you guys can reach out. Okay.
Yeah, sure, sure, sure.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
Thank you,
Thanks for the
Amin.
session.
Thank
Thanks
you
for your
all.
time, man.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Bye bye. Have a
Bye
great day.
bye. Have a great day.